Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda
Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Krishna Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta
Jaya
Vrinda
Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya
Jaya
Nityananda
Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta
Jaya
Vrinda
Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya
Jaya
Nityananda
Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta
श्री
Vrinda
चैतन्य भागवत की जय। श्रील वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। श्रील
Jaya
प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम्। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to this week's Chaitanya Bhagavat reading. So we are reading from the Antya Kanda of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Mahaprabhu is back in Jagannath Puri after returning from Bengal. So Mahaprabhu had gone, supposedly he had gone to Vrindavan, or he wanted to go to Vrindavan, but he turned around from Kanai Narshala. He came back. And when he came back, Maharaj Pratap Rudra wanted to get darshan. So we saw that whole episode, how eventually he got, at first Mahaprabhu wouldn't see him because he's a king, right? King means he lives in opulence, material opulence. So Mahaprabhu wouldn't give him audience. But the devotees were very merciful, and they arranged for uh, Maharaj Prataprudra to see Mahaprabhu secretly hiding. Also, then we saw how he had one doubt in his mind. He was amazed by the ecstasies. He was very happy. But one symptom of ecstasy, there's saliva coming from the mouth of Mahaprabhu and it's covering all his limbs. What type of ecstasy is this? And then when he went home, Lord Jagannath appeared in his dream and he got darshan that Lord Jagannath and Mahaprabhu are actually same. So uh, he was trying to touch the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. Jagannath was in ecstasy now, and he had all this dust on his body and saliva all over his body. And Mahaprabhu also still covered in all this, and he's sitting on the altar of Jagannath. And so he understood it's the same person. When he went to touch the lotus feet of Jagannath, Jagannath said, "No, no, I'm not fit to be touched by you. You are a king, born in opulence. Your father is so great. You're all kings. You can touch me when I'm nicely bathed and, nice sandalwood is applied on me with nice fragrant garlands and ornaments and nice clothes. Then you can touch me. Now I'm not fit to be touched by you." So again, there we saw how Prataprudra Maharaj said, "How is it You have entered my heart. So what's the problem if I touched you? You're there in my heart. Like that. So then he was feeling very bad uh, that he got such a thought. He was repenting. And he really wanted to go and fall on the feet of Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu also fulfilled his desire. Mahaprabhu actually, when he was in a garden after Kirtan, uh, Prataprudra Maharaj went. Of course, the details we'll see in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The devotees had arranged for that also. But ultimately, he got the mercy, and Mahaprabhu said, I came here just for three people. Here means to Jagannath Puri. I came for Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, I came for you, and for Ramananda Rai. But don't reveal this. Whatever you have understood about me, don't tell anyone. If you tell anyone, then I will leave this place. You won't see me here anymore. So Prataprudra Maharaj went back. So after that, we saw, so actually that chapter I think ended. We came to the next chapter, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, in Nityananda Prabhu. So we are reading now about Nityananda Prabhu. So Mahaprabhu, like this, he's in, or it's the same chapter maybe. 1 second. Yeah, it's the same chapter. Yes, it's the same chapter. So then, in this way, Mahaprabhu is performing pastimes in Jagannath Puri, and now we are reading about Nityanand Prabhu. So Nityanand Prabhu is also in Jagannath Puri, and he's always in ecstasy. Uh, going around in Jagannath Puri. Yeah. Lord Nityananda Prabhu always roared with bliss. He knew nothing but by the ecstasies in the body. So actually, what happened was Mahaprabhu called for Nityananda Prabhu. So he's roaming in Jagannath Puri in great ecstasy. He's with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Mahaprabhu called him aside and he said, I took a vow to deliver the most wretched people, to drown them in love of Godhead. The most fallen, wretched people, I'm going to drown them in love of Godhead. And you are the person who's supposed to do this, right? Nobody will get devotional service unless you give it. And you are happily staying here in Jagannath Puri. How will all the people, all the fallen people in the world, how will they be delivered if you happily stay here in Jagannath Puri? You have to become really active, vigorous. Just go out and preach. So Mahaprabhu sent Nityananda Prabhu to Bengal. And along with Nityananda, so when Nityananda Prabhu accepted the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to preach in Bengal, he went along with his associates, the 12 Gopals. So Nityananda Prabhu is Lord Balaram, and Balaram has his eternal associates, the cowherd boys in Vrindavan, Golok, Vrindavan. So they are also there in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime. So Nityananda Prabhu left. So we were reading that. So they headed towards Bengal, and they would just be in ecstasy all the time, right? All of them, Nityananda Prabhu and all his associates also. So they would not be in external consciousness, right? So we saw the names like Gadadhar Das, right? Who would be in the mood of a gopi. He's a devotee, a male devotee with Nityanand Prabhu, but he's in the mood of a gopi. So he would be like as if he's carrying a pot on his head. Anyone wants to buy yogurt? Anyone wants to buy yogurt? Like that. And other associates, right? They would just stand in a threefold bending form for 9 hours. They'll just stand there like that. Or they're laughing and like this in these ecstasies. They just went, they didn't know in which direction they were going, right? Instead of going towards Bengal, they were going in some other direction. And they went for several hours and then not seeing Ganga anywhere. Bengal means you have to come to the banks of the Ganga. So they would ask the people, where is Ganga? How far is Ganga from here? And they will say, hi, you have walked so many hours this way. Ganga is on the other side. You have to walk 6 hours in that direction. But they were not morose or sad, oh, we lost out. No, they were still in laughing, laughing. Again, they would go. And again, they would get lost. Some other direction they would go with, like this. So, traveling, traveling, finally, they came to Panihati. Panihati is Raghav Pandit's home. If you remember, just before coming to Jagannath Puri, on the way from Bengal to Jagannath Puri, Mahaprabhu went to Panihati. And there he told Raghav Pandit in confidence, Nityananda Prabhu is non-different from me. He is my second self. You should serve him. So now Nityananda Prabhu has come to Raghav Pandit's home and how they served Nityananda Prabhu. So we'll just see and then we'll continue from there. So these are all the ecstasies, right? Somebody saying, oh, I'm Angada. Let me make it bigger. It's too small. Yeah. So like this, they were walking in all different ways. Yeah, in this way, so 251, in this way, Lord Nityananda, who is the resting place of Lord Anantasesh, came to Panihati Gram on the Ganga's bank. Finally, somehow or other, they arrived and they came to Raghav Pandit's house. So also remember Makaradhwaja? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had told Makaradhwaja, you should serve Raghav Pandit and that will be the perfection of your life. Simply by your service to Raghav Pandit, you will go back to Godhead like that. So Raghav Pandit, Sri Makaradhwaja, their families, they became filled with bliss to see Nityananda Prabhu. And then Nityananda Prabhu, along with all his associates, stayed at Panihati Gram. And he would be always in ecstasy, roaring in bliss, Nityananda Prabhu. He knew nothing but the ecstasies in his body. And he desired to dance. And as soon as he desired, all of a sudden, from nowhere, so many singers would be uh, around him, like all the kirtan party, those playing musical instruments and singers. Because Nityananda Prabhu wanted to dance, so he would be immediately surrounded. Not that he told someone, he just desired, and as soon as he desired, immediately. And then they would start doing kirtan, and Nityananda Prabhu danced. Who were the singers? Vasudev Ghosh, Madhav Ghosh, Govinda Ghosh, the three brothers, Ghosh brothers. They were great singers. So I'll just continue reading from there. In this way, Lord Nityananda and his associates stayed at Panihati. Lord Nityananda always roared with bliss. He knew nothing but the ecstasies in his body. In his heart, he desired to dance. Suddenly, all the singers converged around him. Saintly Madhav Ghosh, who was very devoted to singing in Kirtan, came. On the whole earth, there was no singer, no Kirtan singer like him. Who? Madhav Ghosh. His songs about Vrindavan were very dear to Lord Nityananda. The three brothers, Madhav Ghosh, Govinda Ghosh, and Vasudev Ghosh, sang while Lord Nityananda danced. As the powerful Avadhuta danced, the earth trembled with the weight of his steps. Hari, Hari, he roared again and again. Seeing him violently fall to the ground, everyone became filled with wonder. Whoever attained Lord Nityananda's glance would dance and dance. Another miracle is Nityananda Prabhu is dancing and he is in great ecstasy and he is roaring, Hari, Hari, and he's dancing and he's falling down and everyone is looking at him. And wherever Nityananda Prabhu glanced, whoever he looked upon, right, that person would start dancing and non-stop. He couldn't stop dancing. Whoever attained Lord Nityananda's glance would dance and dance, overcome with ecstatic love. That person would fall to the ground. In this way, Lord Nityananda, who is filled with the nectar of ecstatic love, began his auspicious work of delivering the entire world. Sri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Manifesting limitless symptoms of ecstatic love, Lord Nityananda danced. After some time, Lord Nityananda sat on the deity's throne on the altar and ordered everyone to perform an abhishek. So, after dancing like this, Nityananda Prabhu sat on the singhasan of the deity. on the altar. So, like you would perform Abhishek of the deity, Nityananda Prabhu ordered, all of you perform my Abhishek now. Raghav Pandit, as his and his companions, at once performed an Abhishek. They brought thousands and thousands of jars of Ganga water and scented them all with various fragrances. As in the four directions they chanted, Hari, Hari, everyone happily poured this water over Lord Nityananda's head. Everyone sang songs and mantras right for an Abhishek. Everyone was overcome with bliss, the hairs on their bodies standing erect. The Abhishek completed, the devotees dressed Lord Nityananda with new clothes and anointed his limbs with sandal paste. With many splendid garlands of forest flowers and tulasi, they covered his broad chest. Then they made him sit on a golden throne. As Lord Nityananda sat on the throne, Raghav Pandit held a parasol over his head, umbrella. The devotees made great sounds of Jai. Joyful instrumental music rose in the four directions. Save us, everyone chanted with their arms raised. No one was in external consciousness. Everyone was filled with bliss. Filled with the bliss of accepting his true identity, Lord Nityananda showered glances of ecstatic love in the four directions. Then Lord Nityananda commanded, "Listen, O Raghav Pandit, at once bring me a garland of Kadamba flowers." Where is this place? Panihati. And Nityananda Prabhu is saying, "O Raghav Pandit, at once bring me a garland of Kadamba flowers. I like Kadamba flowers. I always stay in a Kadamba forest." Where do Kadamba flowers grow? Vrindavan. So, Nityananda Prabhu, who is Lord Balaram, is saying, I like Kadamba flowers. I always stay in a Kadamba forest. Folding his hands, Raghav Pandit said, "It is not the season for Kadamba flowers." Lord Nityananda said, "Go to the garden and look. Perhaps there are some blooming somewhere." Raghav Pandit went to the garden. It's like, somebody telling another person, I want to eat mangoes. Of course, nowadays, round the year, by artificial means and preserving and all that, you get mangoes round the year. But traditionally, right, when you're just growing them traditionally, at what time of the year do you get mangoes? Maybe starting from April, May, right? June, July, it can go up to August and sometimes even September. But if somebody said in the month of December, right, like now, I want mangoes, right, fresh mangoes from the tree. And then you would say, no, this is not the season. Mangoes come in the summertime, not in winter. And if the person says, no, just go to the backyard, maybe there are some mangoes on the trees, you can go and look. What would you think, right? But who is asking here? Nityananda Prabhu is asking. So the devotee also will follow Nityananda. So that's why Achintya. Achintya means it's beyond uh, your conception, right? It's beyond your logical calculation. That's Achintya. So Krishna is Achintya. He doesn't have to follow the normal course of action or the rules. Is beyond. And okay. So Nityananda Prabhu said, go look in the garden, you may find some. Huh. So Lord Nityananda said, go to the garden and look. Perhaps there are some blooming somewhere. Raghav Pandit went to the garden and looked. So he said, oh, Nityananda Prabhu is saying, okay, I'll go and look. He went and looked in the garden, looking. He was filled with wonder. on a lime tree. So this was not even a kadamba tree. It's not that it's a kadamba tree and out of season on the kadamba tree, some kadamba, one or two kadamba flowers are there. Maybe it may happen, right? Sometimes out of season, somewhere in the leaves, you may find one mango. Let's say maybe it's possible. One that remained, it missed your vision when you were picking all the fruits, and one just remained, and maybe later on you're seeing one. Maybe, let's say that's possible. Raghav Pandit was amazed. He was filled with wonder. He had a lime tree in his garden. On a lime tree were not one or two, it was filled with so many kadamba flowers in full bloom. On a lime tree were many peerless kadamba flowers in full bloom. How wonderful was their color! How wonderful was their fragrance! Anyone who saw those flowers became at once free of all material bondage. Simply, whoever saw those flowers became free from material bondage. When Raghav Pandit saw those Kadamba flowers, his external consciousness fled far away. He became very joyful, right? He was not in this world. He was not in the external consciousness anymore. He became very joyful. Picking those flowers, he quickly made a garland and placed it before Lord Nityananda. Seeing the Kadamba garland, Lord Nityananda very happily placed it around his neck. Right? He wore it. Gazing at these wonders, all the Vaishnavas were agitated with bliss. Right? The impossible is happening. And seeing all this, they just became agitated with bliss by the sweet fragrance of that Kadamba garland. After some moments, another great wonder came. So, this was a big wonder in itself. Kadamba flower garland in Panihati out of season. There was no Kadamba tree even, and it was not even the season for Kadamba flowers. And here is a Kadamba flower garlands with so much fragrance. Devotees were going mad. And another wonder happened. After some moments, another great wonder came. Everyone smelled the fragrance of wonderful Damanaka flowers. Now, at least the Kadamba flower garland they were seeing. They saw the garland was put on Nityananda Prabhu. They're not even seeing any Damanaka flowers. It's like, the fragrance of Mogra and the fragrance of uh, uh, lilies, rose, okay, rose, right? And there's no roses around. There's so much Mogra, and you're smelling Mogra, right? And now all of a sudden you start smelling the sweet fragrance of roses, but you don't see any roses. There's not one rose anywhere. You're smelling this sweet aroma of roses, like that. So Damanaka flowers. So they were smelling the sweet smell of this Kadamba flowers, which is obviously coming from the garland of Nityananda Prabhu. But all of a sudden, suddenly, right? It was not there before. While they were smelling this Kadamba flowers, suddenly they start smelling the sweet fragrance of Damanaka flowers. And they're not even seeing any Damanaka flowers. So then everyone smelled the fragrance of wonderful Damanaka flowers. The fragrance of Damanaka flowers charmed everyone's heart. That fragrance filled the four directions of the house. Smiling, Lord Nityananda said, "Oh, my brothers, what is that wonderful fragrance? Please tell me. Hmm? Where is it coming from? What is this?" Folding their hands, everyone said, "A wonderful fragrance of Damanaka flowers fills the four directions. The fragrance that you're smelling, it is of Damanaka flowers. And it is so strong, so, it's all pervading. It filled the four directions. It's so intoxicating." Hearing everyone's words, Lord Nityananda mercifully told them a secret. The Lord said, "Everyone, please listen to the great secret I will now reveal." Hearing the kirtan, today Lord Chaitanya came here from Jagannath Puri. His every limb fragrant like Damanaka garlands. That means his limbs are fragrant like Damanaka garlands. Not that he's wearing a Damanaka garland, maybe he was also wearing, but his very limbs, each and every limb of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is fragrant like Damanaka garlands. He came here and assumed the form of a tree. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here and took the form of a tree. This splendid fragrance of Damanaka flowers that fills the four directions and delights everyone comes from his graceful limbs. To see your singing and dancing, Lord Chaitanya has personally come here from Jagannath Puri. Therefore, everyone, please forget all other duties, forget even yourselves, and always chant Krishna. May everyone's body be filled with the glories of Sri Krishna Chaitanya and the nectar of love for him. What's the blessing? May everyone's body be filled with the glories of Sri Krishna Chaitanya and the nectar of love for him. That means may all of you be filled with the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and with the nectar of love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. May you be filled with love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. May you be filled, may your conscience always be filled with the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How glorious is Mahaprabhu? How merciful, how beautiful, like that. And his sweet pastimes. May your conscience always be filled like this. And may your heart be filled with love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is Nityananda Prabhu's benediction. So forget everything else and simply chant Krishna. Nityananda Prabhu is saying. After speaking these words, Lord Nityananda roared, Hari! And cast his glance of love in every direction. Lord Nityananda's glance of love made everyone forget their own body, their own self. So first, Nityananda Prabhu gave the benediction. May your hearts be filled with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. First he gave instruction, chant Krishna's name, forget about everything else, just chant Krishna, forget even yourselves. And then he gave a benediction. May your bodies be filled with the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and with the nectar of love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After giving this benediction, then he actually invested that in them by casting his merciful glance of love on them. He gave them that love. He said, Hari, and he cast his glance of love in every direction. Lord Nityananda's glance of love made everyone forget their own body, their own self. So what the Lord asked them to do, he himself empowered them, right? By receiving his glance, which was filled with his love, they forgot about their bodies, they forgot their own selves. Listen, listen, oh my brothers, to Lord Nityananda's power, the power with which to the whole world he gave pure devotional service. Because of Lord Nityananda, the whole world attained pure devotion, the gopis felt. Because of Nityananda Prabhu, the whole world attained that love which the gopis have. Devotion described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Who is giving this to the whole world? It is Nityananda Prabhu who is giving to the whole world the love that the gopis have in their hearts. Lord Nityananda sat on the deity's throne as his companions danced. So all this happened when first Nityananda Prabhu danced, right? He wanted to dance, and then he danced, and then he fell down, and he danced, and he glanced upon others, and everyone started dancing. And after this, Nityananda Prabhu went and sat on the throne, and then on the altar, on the throne, and he said, now perform Abhishek. So they brought thousands of pots of Ganga water mixed with fragrances. They performed Abhishek of Nityananda Prabhu. After Abhishek, they put on new garments, applied sandalwood paste on his body, and put so many tulsi garlands. And then Nityananda Prabhu said, and they performed Arti of Nityananda Prabhu. And everyone seeing this, they were performing kirtan during this Abhishek and Arti, and they were chanting Hari, Hari, right, in ecstasy. Then Nityananda Prabhu said, ah, I want Kadamba flowers. Then Raghav Pandit said, this is not the season. Nityananda Prabhu said, go and look in the garden, there may be one or two, somewhere you may find some. And he went and he saw on a lime tree, it was filled with fragrant Kadamba flowers. Quickly he picked them, he made a garland, he brought and put it on Nityananda Prabhu. And then everyone was intoxicated, agitated, right? Seeing this whole miracle and smelling the fragrance. Anyone who simply saw those flowers, their material bondage was finished. And then they smelled Damanaka flowers. And then Nityananda Prabhu said, what is that? And they said, it's Damanaka flowers filling the whole place. We don't know where it's coming from. And Nityananda Prabhu revealed the secret. It is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who came here in the form of a tree. He was here. And he came, why did he come? Hearing your kirtan, such sweet kirtan and dancing. He was so pleased. He came from Jagannath Puri. And his every limb is fragrant like Damanaka flower garlands. That's the fragrance that you were smelling. It was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here, right? And then Nityananda Prabhu instructed everyone, you forget yourselves, forget your bodies, and everyone please chant Krishna always. And may your hearts, may your bodies be filled with glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and um, um, and with the nectar of love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And after blessing, Nityananda Prabhu glanced, his glance was filled with his love, and immediately everyone forgot about themselves. They were all in ecstasy, they were not in external consciousness. This is the glory of Nityananda Prabhu's, this is the power of Nityananda Prabhu's love. So the author, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying, my dear brothers, please hear about the power of Nityananda Prabhu's mercy, his love. It is by Nityananda's power that the whole world is able to get or receive or experience the love in the hearts of the gopis. And now Nityananda Prabhu is sitting on the throne and all the devotees are dancing. Well, what else is happening? Someone climbing out on the fragile branches of the trees still did not fall. So now they were not in external consciousness. They were wild and they were performing kirtan. So how they were performing kirtan? Not the way that we are used to, right? If we just move our legs left and right, then we are like, oh, we are very in ecstasy. What is their type of kirtan? They would just climb trees during kirtan, singing, dancing. Devotees are climbing trees, not just trees. They would go onto the thin twigs and still they would not fall. Sometimes you see birds, right? They go to the tip, but birds are light and small, right? Okay. Sometimes monkeys also try that and then they just jump off to another branch. But these are human beings going to the tip of a branch, like very, very thin. And they're going and they're dancing and they're dancing there in the kirtan. But nobody's falling down. So, and Nityananda Prabhu is sitting on the asan, on the throne. His companions danced. Someone climbing out on the fragile branches of the trees still did not fall. Someone roared in the ecstasy of spiritual love. Right? There was so much love they couldn't contain it. They would just roar out of that love, calling out, Hari, Hari. Someone jumped from the trees. roaring, Hari, Hari, someone uprooted trees and threw them about. So they would uproot trees from the ground and then just throw in their ecstasy, calling out, Hari, Hari. Running among the betel nut trees, someone uprooted 5 or 7 at once. Betel nut trees. 5 or 7 at a time, just uprooted them. The great power of ecstatic love had entered their bodies. What are we talking about here? We're talking about the power of Nityananda Prabhu's love. So, because of that great power of ecstatic love that entered their bodies, they were doing all these wonderful things. That is why the devotees had the power to uproot trees. They were not like Bhimsen. Bhimsen would uproot big, big trees. We see in Mahabharata. He would uproot big trees, and when he was fighting with Bakasura and Hidimba, they were just Brahmana devotees here, right? But they were able to uproot big trees. How? Because of the power of that divine love of Nityananda Prabhu. They were able to do all these wonderful things. That is why the devotees had the power to uproot trees. By Lord Nityananda's power of divine love, all the symptoms of ecstatic love for Lord Krishna, all symptoms of ecstatic love for Lord Krishna, symptoms described in Srimad Bhagavatam, symptoms beginning with tears, trembling, being stunned, perspiration, standing up of the body's hairs, thundering, speaking with a choked voice, turning pale, roaring like a lion, and fainting in bliss were fully manifested in the devotees' bodies. So we were just reading this before we started the third chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita. The second chapter is all about the ecstasies of Mahaprabhu. So we saw all this, right? So all symptoms, tears, trembling, being stunned, perspirations, right, romancha, and thundering, everything, all symptoms were present in the devotees' bodies. In whatever direction glorious Lord Nityananda glanced, a great shower of ecstatic spiritual love fell. So simply if you received the glance of Nityananda Prabhu, then you would just be, it's like getting an electric shock, right? Immediately you would just go into ecstasy. So, yeah, we can stop here today. We read one page. We will continue tomorrow. Thank you all so much, dear devotees. And thank you, Vindhyavali Mataji, for the message. Hare Krishna. I'll see you tomorrow. Mute.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisance.
Hare
Some
Krishna
glory to
Mataji.
Srila Prabhupada.
And with pranams. All
Wonderful,
glories to Srila
wonderful
Prabhupada.
Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Chaitanya Bhagavat.
Chaitanya Bhagavat. Thank you very
Hare
much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I thought I'll miss it, but I somehow got it.
Yeah.
I lost your number. I was looking for everywhere.
Oh.